All right, y'all ready to get this thing rolling?
Oh yeah, we're going.
Yeah, did you do your shot?
I did.
All right, let's do the damn thing.
I had that one at least.
All right, here we go. Episode 29. My last week of being 29. Here we go. Of the Everybody But Me show, we have Dom, Kate, Phil. We have a full house tonight here in Jupiter, Florida. And we have a guest coming on from Chicago. This man has amounted a huge following on TikTok of 1.6 million followers, 925,000 on Instagram. He's about to hit the million mark. He's about to get there. But it's so cool. I met this guy on a modeling shoot in New York, and just hot guys being dudes modeling together, and we hit it off, and we just had so much fun together within that time we had there. And I followed his page. I started learning more and more about him, and it's really cool. And he talks a lot about what goes on in corporate America and the anxieties and what millennials and everyone goes through. And he makes fun of the millennials all the time, which is great. And then it's just fun. He's doing a lot of throwback stuff with the 2000s right now. And we got Just Me, Rod, Thill coming in tonight, and I'm so excited to have you on here to talk about workplace and the corporate environment, mental health and love and dating in the workplace environment, which I never really had a job like with other people, so. But I have Tate in my workplace environment, so.
No, not a shit.
But Rod, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to chat.
So Rod, we start every week with a burning, hard-hitting question, and Kate always puts it on us. So Kate, why don't you start off with it? But then we go from there to a song, Rod. So you gotta have a song ready for us, and
okay.
And then we're gonna go to your question after that. So Kate, what's the question?
Here we go. So I want to know, have you ever dated or even flirted in a workplace? And this can be like from jobs before, whatever this current job of yours is, Tyler.
Oh man, yeah, I remember.
Hold on, Rod. Before you go, you gotta give us a song.
Yeah, I give you guys.
Right now.
Yeah, you gotta give us a song.
Yeah, you guys get a song to think.
You get a song to gather your story.
Yeah. Oh, the song relates to the story?
No, just whatever song. Give me a good 2000 song, early 2000s.
Yeah. I got "Sugar We're Going Down" by Fall Out Boy.
Ooh,
Okay.
goody.
Go back to Chicago. I'm seeing them at concert tomorrow, so.
Wow, fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Blink-182. Here we go.
Sugar going down.
No one caught that. It's Fall Out Boy.
I was like, I don't think that's the name.
All right, we are back here with the Everybody But Me show with just Rod. Katie, what is the hard-hitting question for us?
So I want to know if either of you have ever dated or flirted in the workplace.
Yeah, I didn't date in the workplace because I was in like a separate relationship for most of my career working, but my first job was like student teaching. I was a teacher for a little bit.
You hooked up with a student?
No.
Oh, dear.
I hooked up with a student teacher one time.
I'm not surprised by that at all.
Let's go.
Anyways.
It was an older teacher who was like flirting with me so aggressively, and I didn't know what to do. It was like the most uncomfortable situation. And so every morning she would just like, because she was so much older, she thought she could just get away with it. So she would just like always like come back and like give me a back rub and all this stuff. And then eventually she got fired a couple years later.
Wow.
For like harassing another teacher.
Damn.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Isn't it crazy when you're like younger, you're scared to kind of speak up, and you look back and you're like, that was so inappropriate?
And even like looking back, like how times have changed for the good, it's like people do have the opportunity to be more outspoken about things like this, especially in the corporate world too. It's, these men in power can say things to anyone just because they have the money and they have been in this position for so long with seniority, but it doesn't excuse the fact that they're, pieces of trash that say, misogynistic things to women or talk down to the men that work under them. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. What about you, Ty?
No, I haven't. I'm trying to think about it. Like, my senior year in high school, we had a teacher assistant that was graduated, and hooked up with her, but I don't know if that counts. But I'm just trying to think. I don't, work life situations. I never really hooked up with anybody that was in any of my classes, like in school.
But you could also look at it as like a modeling set, or like, because those are also jobs in a sense.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Oh, I had a photographer that was inappropriate with me one time, and
Wow.
and like he was just trying to get me to. So we were at the shoot. This is like the early stages of me becoming a model. I wasn't even on a TV show, nothing like that. And I was like, this is why you always go through your agent before you ever go do a shoot. I was with this photographer and he shot a lot of big people. I'm like, damn, he's hitting me up to shoot. Like, might as well give it a try, And so I go down to Miami and he's like, yeah, we'll shoot for like 3 hours, and we'll shoot like this picture of us, we'll shoot these pictures like in the water coming out, like this old Brad Pitt photo. And so we do this whole scene or whatever, this whole look. We do it. He's like, all right, let's go get some food. I was like, shit, I'm broke. I'll take some free food. But I realized that we're going closer and closer to where his hotel is. You know what I mean? And so he's like, let's go shoot some more in my hotel. And then he I was like, oh, I'll shoot a little more. I'm like, whatever. I'm shooting. And then he's like, you should get naked now and do this photo. And it's like he wants me to hold like this wrestling belt. I'm like, this shit is dumb, and he's like trying to show me like this big time model who's done it, and like we all know who this model is.
That's how they
And I was like, yo, I ain't doing that. Like I'm good. Like I don't. This photo's not gonna make. I was like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. And so I was like, I need to get home too. So I went home. I never got those photos. I never heard from him ever again.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was like my first time, and like I never really said anything to my agent because like, oh, this is why my agent always says go through him,
Yeah.
So that was definitely like my only, I guess like even now like in the workplace, like I have an employee who's always hitting on me and like trying to flirt with me and stuff, and she just can't stop. You know what I mean?
You flirt with me every day.
Tate sighed immediately when he started.
I knew.
I'm just kidding.
I was trying to get it to
I'm
it
just
first
kidding.
before he did, and he
I
beat
feel
me
like
to
in our
it.
workplace environment, we just banter with each other and give each
All
other shit and
day,
hell all
yeah.
day.
I was ready to tell him out and knock it off, bro. When he said a tiger, I was like, what did I do? What did I do that was inappropriate?
But that photographer thing definitely like kind of scared me straight. And actually I had an agent that I ended up firing at one point because he came on to me. And, he basically told me like, hey, if you want to make it in this industry, sometimes you got to give a little. Kind of me like that.
What? Oh, went there.
And I was like, sir, like, I don't care what it takes to make it in this industry. There's lines I'll never cross.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm good at going back home to Jupiter and working construction, and that's fine.
And here we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
That stuff happens in the corporate world too. You know, it's like, well, if you want to get to the top, then like it happened at the movie Bombshell. I don't know if you've seen that. That's basically the whole premise of the movie. It's just like if you want to get to a certain spot, then you have to act a certain way or you have to do certain things because the people who are in power feel like they have enough power to make you compromise what you believe or your boundaries, which is so good to always set a boundary fresh out the gate when you start a new job.
Have you guys had any instances at your work?
I was going to bring up, I don't know if we're going to get to it, but I think the same applies to clients. Because I'm in sales, so I've had a lot of guys take a meeting with me, not because they're interested in what I'm selling, because they're interested. And
That's gonna be frustrating because then they're just wasting your time.
Yeah.
Right.
And it gets to the point where it's like, oh, like I'll like set a lunch meeting, anything during work hours, but then they'll try to be like, no, can you go to dinner? Do you want to grab drinks? And you just know right away. So I think that's a good topic of discussion. I think it happens to a lot of people, male or female, more than you think.
What about you, Phil? And in your profession, you're a strong, hot man training people. There's got to be people that are coming up to you,
Because I've been doing it for a long time, I've seen a lot of things and been through a lot of things in my industry and the industry that Tyler touched on as well. The casting couch, it's called.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait, did you say you worked in porn?
No, I didn't say that. I said it's called the casting couch. When a photographer or someone comes on to you, it's called a casting couch. You got to do something in order to get ahead, you know. But neither here or there. Yeah, in the training business, it does happen a lot, to be honest. Women come on to you or they just want to train with you because they think you look good. Hey, it's all good, but no one ever talks about it coming from a male to the female aspect of it. It's always the male being the bad one. You know? But that's later for a book.
All right, Rob, before we dive into all the work relationships, all that stuff, I want to just kind of learn more about you and understand, like, how did your whole following, how this whole momentum start coming?
Yeah, I was actually working a sales job at the time, which now I'm in marketing, so I made a big transition. But I was in a sales job just right when everything happened, pandemic, work from home, TikTok blew up, right? But I was scared. I was so scared of like growing on an app and, I didn't want to be an influencer. And then I just started like making little videos for my friends and stuff. And then one blew up with a throwback song, like you're saying, 2000 song, which I do a lot of 2000 stuff. And then from there, I just kept going and then realized too, there's a space on there for people. At first I was like, men's mental health is what I was really, open to, because we like have a lot of men talk about it, even just from the perspective of just, middle employee America, But then I realized that just the mental health within the workspace needed so much discussion because people, didn't have the mental health benefits even 3 years ago that we have now, didn't have the ability to ask for a personal day just to, avoid burnout or resources for therapy. So I just kept talking and being open about that and having fun. Being myself to a certain extent. And, it is difficult at times, which I'm sure, Tyler, too, where it's like people are wanting to know everything about you or like you like can't make one wrong move. It's just kind of terrifying. But then at the end of the day, I'm just so grateful that I have the platform to be able to speak about what I talk about on the internet.
I think like there's a line right there that you have to dance with all the time is like you're making these social media TikToks about mental health. But if you make the one wrong joke or one bad thing, then you're getting heavily scrutinized. Then your own mental health starts to deteriorate because you have to see and watch and read what everyone else has got to say about it.
Well, even that, and even just the fact that your whole life is controlled by an algorithm. Mm-hmm. I just had to separate it completely. I just have, if I think a video is funny, I think an idea is funny, I just put it on the internet and then whatever happens, happens. But before I'm like, okay, this has to go viral or this, because it's such a competitive industry. And I think the platforms kind of like that people are competing for virality because then the more videos are being created and the more people are on the app. But yeah, I think just any advice to influencers is just, or people who are making content on the internet is just like make it for yourself. And then whoever wants to be around for the ride will join on.
How the hell do you keep coming up with ideas? Like I'm looking at it's like funny topic after funny topic after funny topic. I'm like, how the hell do you continue to do that?
I don't know. It's so crazy because I was never I was like joke around with my friends and have a big personality. So and I was just like the big funny guy, but I was never I never did stand up. I never did writing or anything like that. So I really found a bone in my body I didn't even know existed. And every day I wake up and I'm just like, that could be a funny idea. And my notes app is just so chaotic, but I'll just go through and then I'll find something old that I wrote down in my sleep a year ago and try to build something off that. And like I said, I just don't really think too deep about it. I find the deeper I think about a concept or an idea, the worse it performs because it's just so overthought. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, just the first thing that comes to my mind, I throw on the internet and it does what it does, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we were literally just making fun of TikTok because we're trying to do all these videos. We literally just posted me one walking and chewing gum and it
Pop.
did better than all the other videos.
Yeah, we were like, wow.
Look, we didn't even have a hashtag.
Yeah.
What?
We need hashtags? Tate, we need hashtags!
No, it did good without a hashtag.
I know.
That's hilarious.
Let's let it ride. The trending song.
She said it was a trending
So
song.
great at my job.
Yeah, and that'll be that's like a hashtag, I guess. But,
Yeah.
It's not, you can't predict it. There's actually an article that just came out this week that TikTok has this button that people internally can click. It's called the heater button, and they can choose videos to go viral, which was a big upset because TikTok has always said oh, it's all the algorithm. That's the beauty of it. So now people are they said it's only 2% of the videos, but if you think how many people are making videos on the internet, that's most of the videos that you're probably seeing are 2% of the videos that are on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Damn. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
the heat. I guarantee you, Instagram has a heater button. I mean, I feel like all these apps have like a button to hide you,
Right.
or to promote you. I mean, didn't Elon Musk just put a thing out about Twitter how they were like shadow banning all these people and whatnot? I don't know. I saw it.
That we're just running against him.
Yeah, you know.
I would see what happens. I tweeted at him, and I'm like, I really think Elon Musk is an alien. And my contact wasn't doing this after that, so maybe. And I still stand by it. I truly do.
I mean, you're in the corporate world. Dominique, you're in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Phil, you work a really busy job. Kate.
Used to be in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Ish.
What are some things you work on with, relationships and work-life balance? Like, how do you balance all that?
Oh man, I think work from home took the pressure off the relationships in the workplace because especially I work for startups mainly, just that I do like the fast-paced environment that not everyone loves, but in that they like mandatory happy hours and like have to go to company parties and all this stuff, which can in turn create a negative workplace environment because then you just basically are working in high school again because that's gossiping and everyone's, all that. But my advice, and this is what I've done recently, is just, it makes me part of it, I fell into it. Just like stay out of workplace gossip. I love hearing it. I will listen to it all day, but I'm like, just engage, just like keep your nose out of it because at the end of the day, you're better off for it. And as far as work-life balance, yeah, I think it's really hard working from home, especially at the start of the pandemic. I was working to like 7, 8 just because I didn't have the disconnect of like leaving the office. But at the end of the day, like someone told me, it's like, you're not solving the pandemic right now. Like you're literally just like working your job. So why can't that wait till tomorrow? Like the stuff I'm doing at 7 or 8 at night, why can't I do it at 9 a.m. the next day? And that once I shifted my mind to that mindset, it helps so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's always like constant pressure with that, especially with your manager, or there's this cool perception to people in the workplace. If I'm working later or longer, I'm
Grinding.
I'm better. But I think mentally that can take a toll on you. You have to separate yourself. Find stuff that you love to do your own hobbies because that's how you get called a workaholic. Like that's so unhealthy.
Or eventually it just starts affecting your work because you're overworked.
Right.
Yeah. That's where I encourage people to take a mental health day, and people are like, I don't even know how to ask my boss. And I always say, hey, like, would you rather me work burnt out and not be as productive? Or if I take this day and just like recoup the next 3 days, I'm going to be more productive than I would have been all week,
Right.
I think that's a big thing. It's just making sure to protect your peace. I'm in a big season of that right now, just in life. It's just like I'm going through a really big transition right now. And just like protecting your peace is always going to be number one. I'm not saying be selfish, but I'm saying at the end of the day, just like understand that if your mind's not right, the people that you are communicating with and affecting, it's going to affect them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Today felt like there was 1,000,000 pounds on me.
You needed it.
At work, I was frustrated. I was, we were doing a shoot, and your hair. I'm like, fuck my fucking hair. I want to cut it all off. You know what I mean? I was like, say this. What the fuck? I was losing my mind, and I was like, what? I just need to go home and be away from everybody, and I'll take calls here and there from the house because it felt like I had 1,000,000 pounds on me, and I don't know. It was like ever since I woke up this morning, it was like, some of yesterday, and then this morning, and then throughout it, I was like, I feel like I don't know, like anxiety or whatever it is. I was like, dude, this is not good, and I was like, and honestly, I don't even know how to take a mental health day. I don't even know what that looks like, A
10-mile run?
Yeah, like go work out. But I worked out this morning. I was like, usually that clears me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That clears my whole head, and I'm good. And I worked out this morning, killed it.
I think you just like have this habit of like pushing yourself, and then finally you snap. And I think today, honestly, was the first day I've seen you be like, I need to just go take a break. And I thought that right there is like the first step, right? I've never seen you do that. So even though you felt like you don't know how, at least you're starting to learn like, okay, I'm snapping and I know I need to like go home.
Mm-hmm.
So like just be proud of yourself for that, and then more tips and tricks will come along.
Yeah.
I think too, it's like to answer your question a little bit ago, what I realize is like some people like to do this on their mental health day. They get things done that like people like to go to the grocery store on their day off because no one else is there. You know, it's not like a busy Saturday or Sunday. But I found what I like to do on my mental health days or days that I take for myself is something that I wouldn't normally do. I go to the museum, or even just like drive to a different part of Chicago and just like hang out there. And it's just like a complete disconnect from reality. Really helps me in the long term.
Yeah. I think it's like so important. Today I was like, I want to just throw my phone, you know, out the car and just run it over. Or just give it to Katie or Tate and be like, you guys have this. I don't want it. You know, that thing right there is an article. That thing right there is poison.
Yeah, these are articles that like, you know, there's rumors like government's going to shut down TikTok, all this stuff. And there are times when I read that article and it's like kind of like a relief. It's like, okay, because it's so easy to get caught up in like this career, you know, no matter what the career is, that it's like, and not something that I can get fired from, you know, but I guess my audience can fire me, cancel or whatever, but it's sometimes a relief to just like think, okay, like there's an end to that season, you know, and that's the end of it. But then, you know, obviously that's just overthinking at the end of the day, but I really relate with like wanting to throw your phone and just disconnect.
Mm-hmm. No, I think as long as you can use social media and all that as a tool, it can be very good, you know, but it's when it becomes, you just scrolling for no reason, that's when I go crazy, you know, and I catch myself sometimes doing that and I'm like losing my mind and I get, that's where sometimes my frustration starts to build up.
Yeah. Totally.
What happened?
Nothing.
Oh.
That thing wasn't counting.
Uh-oh.
But I was still listening to you.
You're still listening?
Yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah.
Wow, guys, I'm canceling my therapy session tomorrow. This is so good.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is what this always turns out.
We always say this
yeah.
is just like our therapy
sure.
session.
This is so therapy. It's so easy. It's probably the easiest like podcast or, you know, live stream that I've done. And you guys are just so like natural and it's nice.
What are things that you've done to protect your mental through, you know, social media, through everything you've gone through, you know, through work, changing jobs, COVID in Chicago?
Yeah. I think it's hard. Like I said, it's just like big transition in life right now. And it's been not great, not easy. And some, you know, other people are affected in that, you know, and it's just, I think what I've realized is, my friend told me this, is just, you know, we will always try to control the uncontrollable. That's just human nature. But once you take a step back and if you look at that, what you're trying to control in the face, you know, or even write it down and then try to dissect like how I'm going to control this, you might find out you can't. And then you just have to let it go and let God or whatever they call it. And another thing too, is just like, I feel like I was putting so much pressure on, especially during COVID, of like keeping friendships alive and like keeping like people that I haven't talked to and, you know, because I'm not seeing as many people. And then I realized like, why am I trying to like work harder at friendships than I am at like my own relationship? You know, it's crazy. And, you know, I think once you realize too, is just, again, protecting your peace. That's what I'll always go back to, because that's, once you're mentally all there and you're mentally right, you'll have a completely different perspective on how you should treat others, how others are treating you. That was a big one for me, you know, because I would just hear the noise of what people would say to me, about me, how I should live my whole life. And then I'm like, okay, that felt like a robot. But once I kind of woke up and went off that path is when I saw a whole new field of life that I could be living in.
Do you ever find patterns in where your mental health like takes hiccups?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. It's, I'm the one where it's like you can tell how my mood is by how my room looks.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. If I have a messy room, or you're like, okay, he's depressed today, you know, but I'm feeling productive. And it's so crazy. Like all of these things about like that I'm realizing, so many different things that happened in the past 3 years that in my 30s I'm realizing, but my psychiatrist and I just got diagnosed with ADHD. You know, a lot of people have, even to a mild form, but I'm like, man, it took 30 years for me to realize that or to seek help for it. But, you know, that shows that I display a lot of how I feel in my actions with my own space. So if you walk in my apartment, it's tidy, clean, like, okay, he's having a good day, you know, but if I haven't done my dishes in 2 days and my room's messy, usually I'm not doing so hot, which is fine too. I come to accept, I feel like there's a pressure of like, if you're not always together, then you're not together ever. But that's not the case. Everyone has an off day, and it manifests in different ways. And I think once you accept that, there's less pressure, and then you feel less overwhelmed, so you can tackle that the next day when you have the ability to.
What about you guys? Do you guys ever have patterns and why you?
Oh, all the time. I mentioned it earlier. I'll go for a run, which I needed that run last week that we did. Or sometime I'll just go to the beach or somewhere on the other side of town, like you said, and just sit alone and just sit by myself and just collect my thoughts.
But my question is more around like, do you ever notice a pattern why things make you feel a certain way?
Oh, okay. Not necessarily. It just sometimes it just happens. In the last few years, I guess I did have a pattern. Certain thoughts make you think about someone that you lost. You're not having a good day, so I don't take my energy to the gym. I take it to be alone. Like you needed a mental health day, you'll know how you feel that morning. I'm like, all right, I'm waking up. I'm a little off today. If I'm too off to go deal with my clients, to go make them happy, then I don't go do it. That's just.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't know if I necessarily recognize a pattern that's consistent, but I feel like if there's one area in my life that's doing really good, something's always kind of slacking. And like a good example of that is if I'm crushing it at the gym, maybe I'm not like cooking dinner all the time because I'm exhausted by the end of the workday. And I feel like sometimes I struggle having that even balance in every area of my life. And that stresses me out. Like, I couldn't agree with you more. Like, if my room's messy, like, I'm going through a shitty work week or, like, something. I don't know. Yeah. But I can totally relate to that.
I can, too. And the opposite way, too. Like, a cluttered space gives me anxiety. So, like, if I just came back from a trip and my suitcase is still there when I get home from work, I didn't even have anxiety. But now my room's messy. So now my head is messy. Yeah. But, I don't know if I have a pattern, but I've noticed like what I do, and I'm better about calling myself out sometimes about it, is somebody else can tick me off, but then I take it out on people
you love.
Yeah.
I love. Like my mom, like if I'm like annoyed with whatever going on that day, my mom will like call me and I'm like completely so rude to her. And then I'm like, what am I doing? Like she's just calling me. Or I go home to Dylan, like my boyfriend, and it's like I take it out on him. I'm like, wait a second, he's not even the person that I'm upset with. So, just making sure I'm channeling it. But
yeah,
a pattern I think I've noticed too is anytime I drink or like have a hard weekend drinking, like the next 2 or 3 days, I think negative about everything.
Yeah,
And I think like that's been something like I did, like when Christmas happened, I drank Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, hard, like with all the boys. Then Sunday I was like, and Sunday and Monday I was like, yo, what am I doing? And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a break from really going out like that, drinking.
Right.
And then I did, and then we did the wedding, celebrated the wedding, drank all night, like went out, bought tables, all that shit. And then like I'm like, man, fuck this, you know what I mean? Like everything makes me like the whole world's coming to an end, And so that's like something that I like started to take note of. I was like, yo, you got to be careful about one, probably how much you drink, and then two, how you feel afterwards,
Or is it what you drink? Or is it anything that you
I think
drink,
it's making
alcohol-wise?
drinking your outlet.
yeah,
Because
Right.
like I do that so much. I'll have a hard work week, and the first thing I think of like, I'm getting shit-faced this weekend because that's how I'm going to let loose.
That's how you feel.
Like, so how can I channel that energy into other healthy outlets would be like a goal of mine.
Go hit a heavy bag.
But a weekend the other day, I literally did absolutely nothing. I didn't drink, didn't party. I was ready to kill the week, And then like I went out this Saturday, and I'm like, damn, I feel like the whole world's coming to an end. I'm looking at everything. I'm like, this is it. I'm done. Write me off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
so, I think too, it's like for me, about a year ago, once, life really started to change, I fell into like going out all the time, and just like every night, and my routine just got so messed up. And for me, that really messed with my head because I was in this routine and I like wasn't working out consistently, and working out's a good outlet for me. And, you know, even like it was hard to wake up for work, and, you know, like all these other things were happening. And then I realized, like I said, I'm like, it's not even like all the time, because drinking does make me overthink too, but it's not even about that for me all the time. It's even just like how much it messes up my day to day, you know, and something I did 3 days ago, why is that still affecting me right now? So even then, but even like last weekend, went out with some friends to celebrate a birthday, and I just like started that tequila soda, and then I got, you know, soda water, and then I had another one a couple hours later, and then soda water the rest of the night, you know, so you can still have fun, still enjoy it, but it's, you know, like this, sometimes we have this need to like escape, like you said, have an outlet. It messes it up with things long term.
I just realized I said all this to you guys, and then I'm leaving Thursday to Tulum for a bachelor.
Wow.
So I will not be existent for 4 days. But after that, then I have Tyler's 30th. So then after that.
Oh my God. Sometimes I miss though, like during in the office, and I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but like happy hours and stuff, when coworkers would come in the next morning and they would just be absolute trash.
Ugh.
And they were just like, you would look over and there's a coworker on his desk, like, there's a girl coming out of the bathroom like this. You know, it's like.
I feel like when people like, I noticed this in New York City, like I just would hear all the stories from my friends, like people in New York or like these big cities, and they go out and drink together from work, they go another level than they would like with their own friends, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like they understand each other at a different level. Like they go through the same stress all day.
Yeah.
Truly, yeah. You're like all going through it together. So it's like, let's just like, and the amount of, oh my God, the amount of tea that's spilled when you go out with your
Oh my
coworkers.
gosh. And then you have to face them the next day.
Yeah. And oh my, the amount of times that even at company holiday parties, I remember one of them, there was like, HR's door was like a revolving door.
Oh shit.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I don't know how those are still allowed. So much happens at work.
You guys have any good work drama stories?
I just feel like there's always somebody has tension with somebody.
Yeah.
And they just did this around Christmas time, actually, is how to talk with like our whole team about just being more of an adult about a lot of your feelings. So if I have an issue with Kate, I'm going to address it with Kate versus going like a 5-year-old and complaining to my manager, because managers are there for those reasons. Yes. But also it's so simple to just have a conversation with somebody, you know?
I agree. Like there are certain instances where like HR doesn't need to be brought into it, or management needs to be brought into it. But a lot of times it's like, especially if something happened at like a happy hour or happened, you know, that doesn't relate to work. It's like, hey, I heard you were talking shit. Can we just like stop?
Right.
You know, and once you do that, it stops.
Yeah.
Just being open, honest.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I'm not a fan of dating in the workplace. I think it's like a huge mistake.
I think there have been a couple instances where like coworkers have gotten married. I think it depends on the environment, but especially I was in sales for a long time, and I worked sales in a company. It was like a retailer of like 300 women and me and 2 other guys. It was like a styling service a lot of you guys probably heard of. And the amount of drama that happened there, because oh my God, these girls, that many girls is like, I remember 3 girls found out they were dating the same guy, and this was before and all of that.
It's like a movie. What is it? John Tucker Must Die.
Yeah.
Remember that movie?
Everyone was calling him John Tucker.
I love that movie.
It's such a good movie.
I don't know that movie.
No, it's a classic.
Wild. It's so wild. One of them was a manager too, so it just got like so complicated.
Wow.
And then
So
one
messy.
of them met the guy at another party for work, and he said that he was like just at the bar, but he actually was there with one of the coworkers, and he just like, it was like, how did you not think this would get found out?
That's the best part. I think people try to be sneaky about it, and it's almost worse because like everybody knows.
Yeah.
Own it
Exactly.
or don't.
If I was young in the workplace, I think I would be a problem. Like my younger, like 23, 24, if I worked in a big corporate setting, I would be a problem, I think. You know what I mean?
And that's when it happens.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I feel like, because
Yeah.
like I'm in there all day, like I'm going to be talking to you, or we're going to go out for drinks, you know what I mean? And I know like but now like the person I am now, like if I'm at the, to me the gym's like a workplace, right?
Right.
Yep.
And I would never come on to a girl at a gym because I just think it's like it's a place where people go to be comfortable, to let out whatever they're trying to let out,
To release that stress,
to
yeah.
release stress, whatever. This is the last place they want to be hit on or talked to by a person.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm so glad.
You know?
Yeah.
100%.
Like I've
Yeah,
told y'all how many times I've had a crush on the girl in my gym, but I would never talk to her
yeah.
because
Right.
that's not the right time.
So if you're watching this right now, he has a crush on you.
Also,
And I think
like,
too,
if
it's
I'm
like-
on the Stairmaster, I can't breathe. Like, do not talk to me. I literally cannot breathe. I'm trying to survive.
But the girl at Jersey
That's
Mike's, I
just
will
in
talk to.
general.
That's different.
Regardless of
Jersey
the
Mike's.
talking at the gym. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Totally.
so funny. I think we should go to a song, but I want to talk more about this
Yeah.
when we come back.
All right, you got another song for us? Another throwback?
Yeah, I got a good one. How about Mike Posner, Cooler Than Me? Remember that one?
Ooh.
Oh, let's go.
Bangers
You're
Talking about that song with
tonight.
a friend earlier. I'm like, that was a banger.
You're dropping them.
Yeah. It's either that or Akon. I couldn't decide.
Ooh, Akon's fantastic.
We're live.
All right, we're
And
back
we're
live.
We're back.
Live.
Yep.
We are back live. We're about to go through. Katie, you said you want to bring up something first, right?
Well, we were just talking about like what was we were saying? Oh, work wife or work husband, and how that's like a slippery slope. So not even necessarily like hooking up, but like people will mention like, oh, my work wife or my work husband, and I just think it's a
You think it's what?
slippery slope. It's an interesting topic.
I got a work wife.
You do?
You do?
Yeah. For over 20 years.
You
The,
know-
the owner of the gym. She's my work wife. And we're both married to separate people, and we're good. So we're like best friends too, though. So,
Yeah.
yep.
I think, yeah, but is she friends with your
Yes.
significant?
Absol-
Yeah, so I think
So
that.
it's
Absolutely.
different. Yeah, but
But-
that's
different.
different.
But she's legit my work wife.
Yeah, but that does happen.
Yeah.
Like
But I-
people,
Good.
I can see how, like, so, if your spouse or significant other could get intimidated by,
Yeah, I can too. Yeah.
like, I tell girls all the time, I work with Katie, I work with Tate, and they look at them and all the beautiful girls. What?
Every time you hit, it like
Oh,
We can
bangs.
hear it.
Yeah.
I work with Katie, I work with Tate, and like they're beautiful girls, and I can see where that could be intimidating and whatnot for another girl to come into the picture.
Or a man. If they're, if. What did she say?
Tate said when she started work, Tate said she started
Oh,
working
yeah.
here, her and her boyfriend just ended.
See, I was just
that's
gonna say
right.
the man might be intimidated by you.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I've always, once I started dating again, I was like, I have to find a guy secure enough, because my last one wasn't, that is okay with us being best friends. And luckily mine could care less. But I definitely see how it
Yep,
could be.
It could be tough both ways.
yeah, that's all about communication. But yeah, I think where I've seen the problem with it is like the drama it causes in the workplace with the other coworkers. Like,
Picking
oh, they're like,
favorites.
they're going to happy hour alone together. But why isn't their boyfriend girlfriend coming? And then it just stirs up drama in the workplace. So that's where I think it could get even messier than the situation itself if you're open and honest with your significant other. Like, oh yeah, I'm really close with this coworker.
Yeah.
I also think I just think about like Desperate Housewives and like all the drama. People like just want drama and fantasies in their life. You know what I mean? I feel like they just want to. Oh my god, I want to reenact.
Right.
Yeah.
People are.
Yeah,
People
I
are
don't think
sick.
of it ever happened because I don't think any company would want to attach its name to it. But if there was like a real life reality show, like Real Housewives or Kardashian style, like reality show in the workplace, it would do so well.
It would.
The amount of drama that happens in the workplace is reality TV worthy. It's insane.
And
It's
like
crazy.
something everybody could relate to. Tyler and
Yeah.
I were in the DMV, and we sat there for 20 minutes just in the drama that happens in the
DMV could be the most fascinating show ever.
like, wow.
they need that. We need
Yeah.
that.
That's a good one.
I mean,
And I think
People were
that's why,
getting
like,
treated differently. I wasn't having it.
yeah, it was.
Wow.
That was interesting.
It was interesting.
Yeah,
It's my dream to create that show, but I just don't know how to do it. I don't know a company that would
I'm
attach.
telling you, just
Yeah.
go sit for an hour in the DMV. You'll start thinking of some ideas because
I
that
just go
place.
live for an hour.
Interesting characters everywhere.
Yeah.
And no one's happy.
I didn't think so.
No one's happy.
But this thing, why am I scared? I feel like when I go to the DMV, I have to be overly happy, make them happy. Like I feel the need because I'm such a people pleaser, and if someone doesn't like me, I hate that. Even if I don't like them or don't know them, but like at the DMV, I'm like, I'm gonna make them smile.
I feel you. I'm the same way.
I'm like, and then I'm like, I really like that pen, and she was like.
I'm gonna make your day whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I'm still gonna do it for myself.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah. No one is happy to be going to the DMV.
Nope.
And so I think it just pours onto those poor workers that are at the DMV. Mm-hmm. And also like those buildings are just so gloomy.
Yeah.
And just they gotta do something to make
Government
it more fun.
buildings are just. Oh,
It is. It's all gloomy. It's all.
no.
When I went to register to vote, everyone was depressed. And I'm like, we should be happy. We're like exercising our right, all this stuff. And people were just.
Well, I know why everything I put into the building department gets vetoed because it's just miserable in there and dark and gray. And they're just like the joy they get is like veto, you know? Like,
Yeah, that's why it's so depressing because they get joy.
yeah.
Or the DMV, they love taking a bad picture. I'm sure their goal is to take every picture.
Yeah.
Do you know I tried to lie on my license? I had to get it renewed, and they're like, "How tall are you?" I was like 5'2", and then they told me to go stand at this like little measurement thing. Didn't say one word. Printed my license 5'1". I was like, "Are you kidding?"
Give me the extra inch.
Literally, give me an inch.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
All right, so we did some write-ins today about people's thoughts on dating in the workplace, and one of my friends, of course, wrote this one: "Sleep your
Yeah,
way
did
to
you
the
see that?
top."
yeah.
Some people take that route. Some people try. I don't recommend it. Someone wrote, "Honestly, I think it's where most people find love," and I think that's a fair, assumption. Great if it works. Miss it if it don't. I mean, I just think if it doesn't, it's such a gamble to take. If you do try in the workplace to be in a relationship and then it doesn't work out, it's like now this place is just awful.
Yeah,
You know?
I think somebody writes that in, and then you have to like face them every day.
Like, don't you remember like when you were like a kid? Like, my dad dropped me off like freshman year at the dorms, and he said, "Son, one thing I'll tell you about your dorm: don't shit where you sleep." I was like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Don't hook up with any girls that live in your dorm because every time you come back or you bring somebody back, you're going to probably run into."
They're gonna know about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
What it is. And that's, I think, what the complications come dating in the workplace is, don't shit where you sleep. That's like the perfect phrase because if something goes awry, you both have to make a living. Like, it's not like a breakup where you just have to find a different grocery store. It's like, no, you both have to go to the same space
Yeah.
or even now be on the same meetings or work on the same team.
It's
You
just
know.
like in high school too, when you were like excited to go to that class because you had a crush on somebody. But then, you try it out and then it doesn't work out. And then now the last thing you want to do is go sit in that class.
Oh, I loved when that happened.
You loved the drama.
Hell yeah. I got a good story. So there was this girl, Nikki, right? Mm-hmm. And we dated like 8th grade. We had 9th grade together. First day of class, I was like, "Yep, we made out last year."
Just get it out in the open.
Just in case anybody wanted
And she
to know.
wanted to kill me. It was so funny.
That's the power.
Yeah.
But it's so true. Like I always say, you are with the people you work with more than your family.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a 9 to 5, you are honestly with those people more than your family. So I feel like I've had scenarios where people have expressed their feelings because they're like, "Well, I'm just so comfortable with you," and then I have to see that person every week after that, and it's just awkward. So I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Well, even to that point too, working in sales again, it's a very grueling job, and the more you work, the more money you make. But you're at work more, and even at the time, I was seeing my coworkers more than my significant other, and that really put a lot of pressure on our relationship. Because. But then it's also you need to make money. So it's a hard balance. It really is.
It is. We always talk about work-life balance. We don't think it exists.
Yeah.
You can try hard.
It's
and
tough.
I think the people who make the decisions can do it a lot easier.
I think the most important thing is I'm pretty good at this. I think this is one of my best traits. When I'm done and work's over for the day, I cut it off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't talk about it. I don't want to do anything about it. Like, I'm good. I'm done. Like, let's move on. You know. And I think it's like if you're able to go home and make moments with that person and like, you know, just cut everything off and just focus on that person, I think then you can be successful. Yeah. But it's hard. It's hard for some people to shut it off.
Even now in marketing, you know, it's like I'm still like getting emails from people on the Pacific time asking for, you know, something that could totally wait for tomorrow. And sometimes I feel that I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna respond to this quick. But then it's slippery slope. I'm in my inbox. So now what I do is after 6, I just put my notifications off on my Gmail, and then the next morning get back to it. If people have a problem with that, I'll respond and say, hey, we're on different time zones. You know, it's just like, I think
I do that.
Do you get pop-up notifications throughout the day?
for my Gmail?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I have mine on. I have them on like during vacation, everything. It's like my anxiety of I need to know if something's coming in. Like if a sale's coming in, I need to know.
Well, especially with sales, it was different.
Yeah.
Like it was.
But that's not healthy. It's like, why am I taking PTO? You know what I mean?
Literally.
Why am I
What is
taking PTO
anymore?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't even know.
No.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
I feel like I
in
have
my workforce.
Yeah. I feel like I always answer right away, like when you text me after work and stuff.
Yeah, but I also like feel bad about like hitting people up after work hours. So
Yeah.
I'm like, she's probably like with her boyfriend. The last thing, like I feel bad for her. I don't even feel bad for you. I really feel bad for Dylan. I'm like,
I know you don't feel bad for me. Well aware.
Oh, I know.
Are we doing an HR?
HR is Katie picking up the phone and calling herself.
Yeah.
I'll get an email at like 4:59, and I'm like, that's waiting till tomorrow.
Right.
And I'll get an email at 9:03 the next day following up. I'm like, it's been 4 business minutes. Like, it's urgent. Nothing. Like, jeez.
4 business.
Crazy.
Love that.
Wait, that's hysterical.
I'm
That's
going
funny.
to use that.
Yeah. Even it happened like a Friday at 2:50. I'm like, I'm checked out.
I think utilizing your notes app is the key to all of this because, like, I know sometimes we have things fresh on our mind we want to get out there, but like, just use your notes app and then, you know, go get to it when you can get to it.
I need to do that.
That's what I do. I got notes app just nonstop.
All right.
This one says, I work in HR and discourage it, but that's how I met my husband.
That's amazing.
Oh my God. HR has so many stories. I think what was interesting is once something happened, where I've never had to do this, but something happened where I had to go to HR for something. And then I thought it was just like this place where I could vent, you know, and just be like, oh, like this is my grievance. Kind of like therapy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And because that's how they present themselves. You know, we're here for you and all this stuff.
It's like confessional.
Yeah, like a confessional.
They
Right.
flip it on you. They're like police.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, no, exactly. And so then they were like, okay, thank you for sharing all of this. Now, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to pull that other person in the room with us and Amanda. And like they were ready to turn into this big old thing. And then I'm like, well, what if I want to do that? They're like, then we just have to pretend like this conversation never happened. I was like, whoa. So make sure before you go to HR with anything, even if the relationship.
I feel like every workplace needs like an HR, but also like a therapist.
Yeah.
It's like, I just need a vent. I don't need a report.
You guys have heard of Vayner, you know, Gary Vee's company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has what's called a chief heart officer, where it's exactly that. It's like HR, but it doesn't go past her. And even like, she's like, sometimes Gary will come to my office and try to like get information out of me. And she's a vault.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And hopefully she has a good therapist because that's a lot of information to
I
take in.
really like that.
Yeah.
I
do
really
too.
like that. I said if I ever start my own company, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Such a good idea.
Chief Heart. We have the chief morale officer in my company.
Dante.
Dante. We don't pay him, but he just shows up to the jobs, gets all excited.
And he's in a great mood.
He's always in a great mood.
Oh my God. I'm going to start calling my friends that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're my CMO.
Yeah. All right. So this is the point where we go to call in. So y'all come in, give us a call right now if you got any questions for us. If you got any good work stories with relationships, we'd love to hear it. Rod, it's been fun having you on here, man.
And then just don't forget to
You guys are
unplug.
Great. Yeah. Can't wait to come to Florida.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Whenever you need to get out of that cold weather up there, just let us know.
Yeah. Yeah, I really do. It's we went to Daytona growing up all the time.
Oh, my
It was, like,
boyfriend's
my
from there.
Yeah, we never left the beach, which, I feel like that's what you got to do there. You don't really
Yeah.
go hang out in Daytona, but nice to be able to have a quick escape.
Yeah.
Daytona, the armpit of Florida.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I'm just kidding. That's where her boyfriend's from.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, we just had one and then went away. This thing works sometimes, doesn't work the other times.
But it's the best beach I've ever ran on because it goes so long. There's not a ton of stuff on the beach.
As a kid, I saw my first pair of boobies in Daytona Beach.
You never forget those.
No. I was my parents brought me to one of those boat races. They used to be huge in Daytona.
Oh,
back
yeah.
then, those boat races.
I remember those.
And there was these crazy pool parties, and my dad and everyone brought me to it. And so I'm at the boat race, and I'm there, and I get separated from my mom and dad, and I'm in this booth, and it's just this girl getting spray painted on her boobs. And so I go run, I go grab my dad, and I bring him back over. Right? So now me and my dad are sitting there both watching her get her boobs sprayed, And then once that's as we're doing that, all of a sudden my mom comes in, and she's like, Jeff, what the hell? You cussing him out, you know what I mean? You can't be doing this with Tyler. And my dad goes, he brought me here. And she's like, bullshit, Oh, man.
Collins not working.
The Collins not working.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Our favorite part.
For real.
It's seriously the best part.
But Rod, do you have anything you want to leave the audience with or leave us with? Any last remarks about mental health? Oh, we got one. Let's see if this one works. The last one didn't work. But do you have any things you want to leave us with about mental health? And
Plug, Tyler, because otherwise it'll come through the headphones.
oh,
Oh,
Yay.
There we go.
Hello?
Allie, can you hear us?
I just pressed it to see if it would work, so I'm shocked that I'm on here.
You're on here.
hello.
How's it going?
Well, good. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Sure. I think you guys brought a really great point in regards to dating in the workplace. I think that especially like different types of fields of work, it can get really messy. And I've worked like in sales and I worked in finance, and it's really tough, like when you go into starting a new position or new work field. And I've had like in the past, I've had experience where my direct boss was very interested. And it was just kind of like a small finance place. It was him and me, and it was really uncomfortable, And it's like, oh, okay, well, you they have HR for that reason. But when HR is his buddy, it's like, whoa, yikes. So anyway, some of those weird situations.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely tough.
You can trust anyone, but then you realize too, anyone's human too. So it's like you said, his buddy was in HR, it's like you never know where that's going to go. You could have all the trust in the world in someone. So yeah, it can be a mess.
Yeah, most definitely. It can just, that whole don't shit where you eat kind of a thing. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree more.
Exactly.
So that was kind of just my comment on that. I love your guys' show. I think that you guys it is like a therapy session every time listening in. I really enjoy it.
Well, we appreciate you calling on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
All right, now it's starting to work. We got people coming in.
Oh. Yay.
Hello?
Oh,
What's going on?
what's up, guys?
How you doing?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so I have actually hooked up with a coworker in a workplace. We're actually still friends. I don't work there anymore. But I think I was on the tail end. Like I had always had a crush on him. When I was working, because I worked at my apartment complex, like a housing management, and
Y'all didn't have to go far.
Waiting soon or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna shoot my shot. I'm just gonna shoot my shot. So I did, and it was a little distracting because definitely there was a lot of sexual tension in the workplace.
But yeah, like him and I ended up like hooking up, just like being like friends with benefits, and it was great, and we're still friends, and I keep up with him. He has a girlfriend now, but I don't know. I had a good experience because we tried to keep it very professional. And like obviously like nobody knew. We tried to make sure that nobody knew in the office except for us, because we didn't want it to get complicated. But normally I would say no, probably should not do anything with a coworker or any type of workplace, just because I know that things can get messy. I've had like friends who have done that, and it just becomes really awkward. And then I've had some people who it's worked out. My best friend actually is getting married to her fiance, who she met in the workplace, and they actually still work together, and they like make it work. But yeah, I don't know.
That's rare.
I think it depends on the situation, and it depends on the person.
I agree.
And the people.
It's definitely situational.
How did you initiate that with the person you worked with?
Sorry, one more time.
How did you initiate that first interaction of like crossing that boundary with that person you worked with?
Well, we used to always just have like conversations about like our dating life and stuff. And at the time, he had like recently broke up with his girlfriend or something. It had been like a couple months, and I think I had said something kind of like, "Oh, well, like maybe we should hang out" or something. And he definitely was like into it. And I think he at first was kind of like, I don't know if she's like asking to hang out with me because we're friends, because we originally were friends first. And I'd give him like dating advice and whatnot. And then I like kind of kept insinuating like that I was like interested, and then I like wanted to hang out more than that. And he was like totally about it. And then I don't know, I just ended up going to his house one night, and we like got food, and I think we smoked some weed, and then
that little devil lettuce will get you excited.
Did your coworkers find out?
It was a good time.
Yeah. Did your coworkers find out?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I kind of mostly initiated it with just kind of like hinting like, hey, like maybe we should hang out. Or we also went to the same school too, because I was in college. So like we'd like meet up on campus and like go and like eat like food and just like chit chat. And then when we'd be at work together, I don't know, you could just like the
y'all be hiding off in the back room, huh?
And like the eye exchange, you
In
know,
the library.
like when you see somebody at the bar and you like give them that look.
Those eyes.
That's essentially all that needed to happen.
Did y'all ever hook up during work hours?
You what?
Did y'all ever hook up during work hours?
I'm trying to think. We almost.
Hello.
We almost did. We were closing because him and I had the closing shift, and we had like a back room, and we were in the back like cleaning up and stuff, and our like manager had like just left, and I think we waited a while, but I kept like we had like been like, I don't know, like just like hinting towards each other that we like wanted to do something in the office, and we didn't because we ended up seeing that there were cameras, but
Oh God.
it was a thought.
All right, now I'm gonna bring this back because I remember the last time we talked. You
what?
I remember the last time we talked. You brought up about this one guy you were seeing, who you hooked up with. Matt, yes.
Dropping names.
And
There he is.
Yeah.
So hold on. Let's go back to the story. So she hooked up with Matt.
Travel a lot for work.
Hold on. Let's get some background story. So she hooked up with Matt. Matt stopped hitting her back, and then
Yes, I remember.
and then Matt would only hit you what, late at night?
Yeah, well, he like would hit me up during the nighttime, or like he would hit me up like in the middle of the day when I was like busy. And he was like, "Oh, I want to hang out and like see you before you leave." And I was just like, "Okay." So, before that, it was kind of like he was acting like he wasn't interested. Cause like he came over and we hung out, and my intention was not to sleep with him, but then happening, and then like he went to San Diego for a trip with his family, and before that he was like, oh, let's hang out before I leave, and that was the plan, and then he kind of just like went off the face of the earth and like didn't message me back. And then he was on his trip with his family, because I was essentially like, yo, what's like going on? Like, are we hanging out? We're not hanging out. Never heard from him, whatever. Then at like 3 a.m. on one of the nights he was gone, he like randomly messaged me and was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I've been not meaning to not message you, but that's just like the way that it's gone. And like, I didn't mean to like essentially like ghost you, but he did. And was like, I'm still like super into you and like all this stuff. And I was just like, okay, well, like, I'm kind of pissed off because at this point, like, you've now essentially wasted my time and lied to me. And so then he started hitting me up all the time and was like, oh, I still want to hang out with you, blah, blah, blah.
Did you use our technique?
And then I think I had called in and kind of told you guys the situation, was like, I don't know what to do.
Did you do what we told you not to do?
Me hang out with him again and don't hook up with him and see what happens.
How'd it go?
So I did hang out with him again. He came over. Or did he come over? Yeah, he came over. We hung out. It was like right before I was supposed to leave for California for a couple months, which I'm actually currently in California. And it was good. I mean, I definitely enjoyed really hanging out with him and stuff, but
did y'all have sex?
The hard part is that like I was leaving, so it's hard for me to be like, wait for me, you know, when I'm like gone for 3 months. So like we chat every once in a while, but his thing is too, like, which we kind of had talked about it, because I was like, what are you looking?
Did y'all hook up that night?
Like, are you just looking to like hook up, or are you like, what do you want? Like, because like that's fine. I just like, I'd rather know than not know.
It is.
So like we kind of had a conversation. He didn't really give me like a straight answer. Like he's like, I don't know, like if it's the right person, like I'll date somebody, but like he's like, I'm not necessarily looking for a relationship. But he also was like, but I really enjoy hanging out with you and like you're super cool and blah 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 blah. Just pretty much blowing smoke up my ass. So
So at the end of all that, did y'all hook up?
So I don't know, like I kind of had talked to him a bit, but it's like, again, it's hard because I'm out in California working and I'm not going to be back until like the end of March.
No. I understand that, but that night that you hung out, remember we told you not to hook up with him?
Oh, yeah. No, we didn't hook up.
Okay, good.
All right.
Good.
There you go.
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
All good. All right. So you did the right thing.
Yes,
You got your answers.
I did hook up with him. We had the conversation. We'll see what happens when I get home. I'm currently out in Southern California, and I've been having a ton of, because I'm from here, so I've been having a ton of guys from my past hit me up who want to hang out. So I don't know. We'll see. We will see.
Do your thing.
The hometown hero.
The hometown hero.
Well, we always love when you call in. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Oh,
Also, what are you doing for your birthday, Tyler? Your dirty 30. You gonna do anything fun?
I'm gonna be very dirty. No, I don't know. I am. We're gonna have a fun boat party.
Yeah, maybe a sober one since you think the world's gonna end.
I love boat parties.
Yeah, but what you can't come to is February 14th. We're having our first live show on Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh, are you really?
Mm-hmm. So.
Okay, you're gonna like set people up, or what are you gonna do?
We're gonna try.
Yeah,
to do
we
live
want to
things.
try to do
We'll
some
see what the
live
crowd gives
dating.
us. So. But
Well,
we'll,
I'm definitely gonna call in for that because I don't have a Valentine's. So.
there we go. Awesome. Well, Christine, thanks for calling. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
You enjoy your night.
Bye.
We love a regular.
She did listen. She didn't hook up with him. but Rod, man, is there any last things you want to leave us about mental health? You know.
Yeah. I think, like I said, just like, I think there's a difference between, being selfish, but like looking out for yourself. And I think I just feel like, especially, it's never too late to look out for yourself. It's never too late to change and to discover new things about yourself. So I feel like I'm in a big season of that right now. But just at the end of the day, protect your peace, because you protecting your peace will make you a better person, which will help make others better people as well.
Love that.
Love that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, Rob, we can't thank you enough for coming on here and joining us.
Dude, this is the easiest thing I've ever done.
We keep
You
it
were
easy,
easy
man.
to talk to.
Easy.
We keep it easy, man.
Yeah, you really do. It's so chill. I love it.
But that wraps it up. Thank you guys for joining us. Episode 29. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Keep commenting, keep liking, keep sharing. And y'all have a wonderful week. And we'll see you next Tuesday for episode 30.
Tyler's birthday.
On my 30th. It'll be fun.
On his 30th.
And February 14th, we're in person, not just live. We're in person.
Exactly. So it'll
I
be a fun
love
night.
it.
Yeah.
All right, Rod. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, guys. This was awesome. Appreciate y'all.